Who's the toughest dude in the league to guard right now, in your opinion?
It gotta be a big fella, the Serbian.
This goddamn Joker guy, man. What? He's shooting like, they say in like the last 5 or 6 games, he's shooting like 77% from the field.
Yeah, I mean, this season in 3 weeks, I think he's at 67% from the field.
Oh my good. And by the way, and this is not like one of those guys back in the day, like all dunks, you know, or all layups. No, this is everything.
All three
levels.
We just taking this dude for granted, man. He is the best basketball player in the world. You just going out there getting easy triple doubles every day, and he ain't getting them fluky 10 points. 10 rebounds, 11 assists. He get like 25, 16, and 17.
I would like the NBA fans writ large to please take a look and pay attention to what Nikola Jokic is doing right now.
35 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists. He missed 3 shots from the floor all night.
And he said it's not easy, and I'm sure it's not, but he makes it look so easy.
Nikola Jokic right now is putting together a Wilt Chamberlain-style statistical season.
I had a good night. The ball was going in, and we won the game. You know, the guys were coach running play for me, and you know, it's simple as that.
You don't want to give Joker no credit because you think you compare him to you.
Nikola Jokic is putting together the greatest individual season in NBA history, averaging a 30-point triple-double on shooting splits that look like someone made a typo. He leads the league in rebounds, leads in assists, leads in every advanced metric that exists. And he's doing all this while 2 of his 4 best teammates have been injured for over a month. So naturally, the betting odds still have him as the second choice for MVP.
This brother, Jokic, I mean, just a big tub of lard, just shoving people around. You know, no six-pack, and ain't stealth built or anything like that. He's just big and strong. You know, waddle. He don't even walk. He waddles and stuff. You just look at him, and you can't stop him. There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. Every major sports book, every betting application still lists Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as the favorite to win this year's award. SGA is incredible, and trashing him isn't the point here. What Jokic is doing right now goes beyond impressive and lands somewhere in unprecedented territory. If the voters hand SGA back-to-back MVPs over this kind of season, we're not talking about a questionable decision. We're talking about the greatest snub in the history of professional basketball. The numbers tell the story better than any argument could. Jokic sits at 29.8 points per game, which rounds to an even 30, placing him 5th in the entire NBA in scoring. That alone would be an elite season for most players, but here's where the whole thing starts to feel absurd. On top of that scoring output, he leads the league in rebounds. He leads the league in assists. A center leading the NBA in assists is something you almost never see. And the last time anyone witnessed that kind of production from a big man, the league looked completely different. None of this is happening on a lottery team either. Denver sits at 196, holding the 2nd seed in the West, pacing to win 62 games this season. Advanced metrics paint an even clearer picture. Player efficiency rating, Jokic leads that. Box plus minus, leading there too. Value over replacement, win shares per 48 minutes, he tops every single category. Not a single metric exists, basic or advanced, where Jokic isn't sitting at or near the very top of the entire league. And this is where the whole situation crosses into something almost hard to believe. Jokic already owns the all-time career records in per BPM and win shares per 48. Those records belong to him because he set them. Right now, this season, he's on pace to shatter his own marks. The highest single-season PER ever recorded now belongs to this current stretch. Highest BPM ever sits with him, too. Competition with other players stopped being the story a while ago. Jokic is now competing against himself, and he keeps winning. His true shooting percentage stands at 72%, second in the entire NBA. A 30-point triple-double on historically efficient shooting has never existed before in this combination. Not from Wilt, not from Oscar Robertson, not from LeBron. Nobody in the history of the sport has ever assembled this specific statistical profile, and somehow that's still not enough to make him the favorite. The game against the Clippers from a few weeks ago should have ended the MVP conversation on the spot. Jokic dropped 55 points that night while shooting 78% from the field, and his plus-minus for the game landed at plus 28. What makes even less sense is that he only played 33 minutes. Through 3 quarters, he already had 52 points, and the game turned into such a blowout that Denver sat him for most of the 4th quarter. His dominance so complete that they didn't even need him to close things out.
Denver leads by 4. Jokic down the lane, a rainbow floater.
But, I didn't think he would score 55. He made some threes.
Offensively for the Nuggets because of that.
Jokic wastes little time and knocks down a 3.
Try to navigate through. Then when you go smaller on him, he just post up. And then so it's just a tough cover, but I didn't think he would get 55.
Fades and
historical context makes their performance even striking. Players who have scored 55 or more points while shooting 75% or better from the field represent an extremely small group. Only 7 players in the entire history of the NBA have ever accomplished that since the year 2000. Just 3 names appear on that list: Jokic, Luka Doncic, and James Harden. Narrow the search to centers, and the last one was Wilt Chamberlain back in 1969. What Jokic is producing hasn't been done in over 50 years. The circumstances surrounding these performances make everything even more impressive. Aaron Gordon has been out for over a month. Christian Brown has been out for over a month. These aren't just rotation pieces getting a rest. These are 2 of Denver's 4 best players, 2 of their 3 best defenders. And then things got worse when Peyton Watson went down 5 minutes into the Houston game. Watson had been starting in Christian Brown's absence, emerging as one of the bright spots during this injury stretch, and now he's hurt too. The math paints a grim picture. Denver is missing 2 starters, 2 of their top 4 players, and the guy filling in for one of those starters just went down. On paper, this team should be struggling to stay afloat, fighting for a play-in spot, hoping to just survive until reinforcements arrive. Reality tells a different story. That is 2nd seed in the most loaded conference in basketball. Their offense ranks number 1 in the NBA by over 2 points per 100 possessions. Spencer Jones has been starting for them, averaging 4.8 points per game, and they're still dominating. That's not a roster accomplishment. That's one man carrying an entire franchise. The Houston game provided a perfect example of what Jokic does to elite competition. The Rockets came in as the 2nd best team in the league by net rating, second only to Oklahoma City in SRS ranking. This is a legitimately great squad, one of the best in basketball. Denver beat them anyway, again, for the 2nd time this season, without Gordon, without Brown, without Watson after the opening 5 minutes. Jokic finished that night with 39 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 assists. Jamal Murray added 35, and after years of criticism about his consistency, Murray is now playing like a legitimate all-star who deserves his spot. The way he stepped up while the team operates short-handed has been remarkable to watch. But that game revealed something bigger about the playoff picture. Houston has a Jokic problem. They match up well against almost everyone in the league. A 7-game series against OKC would probably go their way. San Antonio wouldn't pose a major threat. They could compete with anyone. But Denver, no answer exists for what Jokic does to them. 2 games this season, 2 losses, both without Denver having their full roster available. If Houston's front office is smart, they're praying Denver draws Oklahoma City before they have to face the Nuggets in the playoffs. The MVP conversation keeps circling back to the same argument for SGA. His team wins more games. Oklahoma City has fewer losses. They might break the all-time wins record. All of that is probably true, and all of it misses the point entirely. Oklahoma City's greatness doesn't flow from SGA alone. 3 factors drive that team's dominance, and my ranking puts them in this order: their defense first, their depth second, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander third. The 3rd most important factor on that roster is somehow going to win back-to-back MVPs. Take SGA off Oklahoma City, and they'd still be an elite team. Their defense would still rank among the best in the league. Their depth would still carry them through tough stretches. They'd still win a lot of games. The dominance would fade some, but the foundation would remain strong. Flip that scenario to Denver. Remove Jokic from this roster, and what remains is a borderline playoff team at best. Maybe a play-in squad, probably worse with all the current injuries. Jokic isn't just the best player on his team. He functions as the entire engine. The offense runs through him. The playmaking runs through him. Everything Denver does starts and ends with that man. And he's still not going to win MVP because wins apparently matter more than individual dominance. Even with the guy with fewer wins is carrying a heavier load with less help.
An SGA victory in this race sends a clear message. Nothing Nikola Jokic does from now until the end of his career will ever be enough. The goalposts will keep moving. The excuses will keep coming. The most dominant player of his generation will keep getting passed over, while voters reward team success over individual excellence. Denver's path forward still holds promise, despite everything working against him. The supporting cast looks different than it did 2 years ago, and in several ways it looks better. Off-season additions filled major gaps that had plagued the roster for years. Tim Hardaway Jr. is shooting lights out from deep. Cam Johnson brings elite spacing, even when his personal shots aren't falling. Jonas Valanciunas provides a legitimate backup big who's performed at a high level for 15 years in this league. Bruce Brown returned to bring championship experience and energy off the bench.
At least keep the lead. That's our job. I think we have a capable bench and starters doing a great job. We got to maintain that.
Just to have a really good backup big man who's really dominant, who played in the league for 15, 16 years. And we have a Bruce who won a championship, but he's bringing out the energy every night, and Tim, who is a really probably one of the top shooters in the league. So it's really good to have him have them on our team.
Spacing is the biggest transformation. Denver's most glaring weakness for years was the lack of shooters around Jokic. Teams could pack the paint and force him to beat them from outside, knowing the math worked in their favor. That strategy doesn't work anymore. Hardaway and Cam Johnson stretch the floor in ways Denver never could before. And when Jokic gets space, the numbers become terrifying. His shot chart reads like a cheat code. 58% on jumpers, 78% on layups, 71% on hook shots, 80% on floaters, 80%. When defenders have to respect Denver's perimeter shooting, Jokic gets one-on-one matchups in the post. Nobody in the league can guard him alone. The Western Conference this season is absolutely loaded with threats. Oklahoma City looks capable of setting records. Houston is legitimate. San Antonio has Wembanyama, who just cooked the Thunder while playing only 20 minutes. Minnesota made back-to-back conference finals and shouldn't be forgotten. Golden State has Steph Curry, and now Jimmy Butler lurking around the 8th seed like a playoff sleeper nobody wants to face. And then there's the Luka situation. Whatever happens with him and the Lakers could reshape the entire playoff picture overnight. Through all of that chaos, Denver sits at the 2 seed, holding steady, winning games they have no business winning, all because of one man doing things nobody has ever done before. Conversations about greatness in basketball happen constantly. Debates about GOATs and legacies and all-time rankings fill every sports show and podcast. But appreciating greatness while it's actually happening is something people rarely do. History being made right in front of you is easy to miss when it shows up every night. Nikola Jokic is putting together the best offensive season by a center since Wilt Chamberlain walked off the court for the last time. A depleted roster surrounds him. No drama follows him. No demands come from him. He just shows up every night and produces stat lines that look like video game numbers. And somehow, the basketball world has decided that's not enough. Watching Jokic this season, really watching, means witnessing something that might not come around again. A player so skilled, so efficient, so dominant that breaking his own all-time records has become routine. Whether Jokic deserves MVP isn't really the question anymore. The question is whether we're going to watch the most obvious choice in recent memory get snubbed for the 2nd year in a row. Because if that happens, it won't just be a bad decision. It'll be a stain on the award itself.